this is Adriana Echandi, and I'm recommending that you do watch Keith Andrews Network's interview with myself. I just think it's really amazing what we're up to, and if we all come together and really put our attention on what matters, you'd be amazed at what we can accomplish.
I'm here with the talented and beautiful Adriana. I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Thank you. Yes. Hi, I'm Adriana Echandi. I'm a professional actress, voice artist, and singer. And I'm excited to be here. This is so great.
No, the honor is
Virtually.
all mine. And now for
Yes.
people who want to know what my talk show is about, whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. It's to prove to them you can still amount to something. So hashtag break the labels. So that being said, half hour, 33 minutes of your time. It's PG, PG-13, but you can say anything you want, talk about whatever you want. I've thrown it out there as PG, PG-13, but
Sure.
it is uncensored, so freedom of speech, self-expression, and let's jump right into it.
Yes. Well, I love what you're creating. You know, I've been blessed to have an amazing parents, amazing just childhood here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And even with that, we're always dealing with our fears limiting us and ourselves labeling what is possible, what we can do. And I know for myself that, you know, I was gearing up for a career in musical theater. I had auditioned to 9 schools across the country. And because I didn't get into the top pedigree schools, I got rejected 8 out of 9 schools. And I got into one on scholarship. And my 18-year-old self told me, well, they just took that home video, and NYU and Carnegie Mellon and UC Irvine. If they don't want me, then I don't want that. And I stopped. I stopped singing. I stopped acting. I stopped expressing myself for a decade. And it really was until I did a bunch of really great transformation, self-growth, self-development courses that I broke out of my shell. And 2019, I declared I am going to be a performing artist. And the way that I jumped in was through voiceover. So that was really great. It's been such an amazing journey. And actually, even with all of this pandemic and everything that's going on, because this craft can be done now at home in a home studio that you can create really almost anywhere if you're just a bit smart and crafty. I've been scouted and invited to one of the best talent agents of San Francisco just in the last week. So I've actually signed on to an amazing home agent. I have 2 other agents across the country. And so I'm working and performing just like I declared a year back. So it's been pretty amazing.
No, absolutely, and it's a real honor to have you as on the guest. Real honor to have you on the show, and you're a real inspiration for people out there.
Thank you. Thank you. And, you know, for years, I used my own brand of excuses. Well, I stopped training for 10 years at these fancy schools, and I don't have a fancy degree, and I don't, you know, who am I to try this with all the competition in the world? And what I really got is authenticity is what people are hungry for and what we all need to really feel that people are really there for us. And, you know, if I could give a little bit of my heart and soul through the radio waves, through online, you know, to someone's pitch deck at their next really important business meeting, well, you know, I get to go to bed feeling like I did a good job. So, and it's fun.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely, and I can relate to that because people always say to me, you know, I have a learning disability. I have ADD, ADHD. You know, I'm on spectrum of being retarded. I was never able to go to college because I read and learn at a fifth grade level. But yet, for almost 7 years, look at what I was able to accomplish. You know, I did officially, thanks to you, 655 episodes. Unofficially, I did over close to almost 1,000. You know, long story about that.
Wow.
I did 300. I had to do the show over. I did another
Mhm.
300. So in total, it's six. So actually, in total, it's nine. But it's a learning experience. But I'm showing,
Right.
hey, look at someone who was told he was never going to amount to anything, but look at what he was able to accomplish on his own.
That's incredible. That's that's really inspiring. That's so great. And it's so interesting because everyone has their own mountains to climb. And we're all, what I say is like, in yoga practice, they say, stay on your own mat. Or I say, stay on your own rainbow. Don't look at anyone else's rainbow. Stay on your rainbow. And in my world, I just started voiceover last year, and I decided to fly across the country to go to the premier voiceover conference without even having a professional demo at the time. And I called up the creator of this event, and I said, do I belong here? Do I need to wait until I'm more something? And he said, of course not. Definitely come on board. And I've had the most amazing experience connecting with the voiceover community. They're just such a committed, dedicated, and loving group of people that are out to really support one another. And I would have never gotten the opportunity to do that if I had listened to the voice in my head that said, oh, you're not ready yet, or you can't do that. Who are you? So I just think it's so great that you are a living example of really going beyond your boundaries and beyond your comfort zone, like every day. And that's truly inspiring.
You know, it's funny you should use the words, am I ready? I'm not ready yet. I was actually talking to a couple of people. Yeah, my dad was one of them, and I said, I was thinking about doing Comic Con. And he looked at me and he's like, no one knows who the hell you are. And I say, thank you. I argue with myself before I go to sleep every night, saying, I'm doing these great things. I have these episodes. I have fallen people. But no one knows who the hell I am. It's like, who's this asshole?
Right,
Right?
right. And yeah.
For you have these acting roles, and you're beautiful and you're talented. For me, it's kind of like you're just some guy on the computer, just doing a talk show. But it's more of that motivation of people are trying to bury you, but you're gonna say, "I will have the last word."
Yes. And I would upgrade that conversation as the people out there to the committee, the fear committee in here is, always trying to keep us safe and small. So I love that you have to meet yourself, confront yourself every night, because the truth is we all do. We all want to feel alive and juicy and up to something. And that takes confronting every night yourself, saying, hey, I'm going to do this despite all evidence. And yeah, when I told my voice teacher here, I've been studying at Voice One in San Francisco with Sally Clausen and all the lovely people, Lane Clark and all the great people there. And I told her the first class in, I said, I understand that it takes 2 to 5 years to build this career. I want to be already set by December. What do I need to do? And, I just went for it. And I've studied with the most amazing masters and teachers like Bob Bergen, the voice of Porky Pig, or Sissy Jones, who's done video games like Firewatch and Walking Dead and, Grand Theft Auto, all these great people. And it's just amazing when we open our mouth and ask for what we want. It's really likely that people are going to work hard to really support you when you really ask from like a place of humility and learning. So I'm not surprised that you're making your way and all the Comic Cons and having all of these amazing professionals, because when I looked at your channel, I was like, wow, this man is going somewhere. He's putting in the time, he's putting in the grind, and honestly, showing up is 50% of the work. So yes, I'm really excited for you, because this is just the beginning.
You just reminded me of a funny story. I used to tell funny stories, but then I got into an argument. I said to my mom I wouldn't. But it doesn't help because it's funny. It's not really that embarrassing anyway. My brother before me, because I'm the youngest out of four brothers and one sister, my brother before me says, I have a BA in broadcasting and a bachelor's in communications, and I can't even get a job. But yet you have Keith over here who's doing 6+100 episodes, and he never went to college. So everyone's like, it doesn't pan out. I paid all this money to go to college, get a degree, do everything A to Z. I didn't do any of it. I jumped to A to Z, and if I fall my ass here and there, okay, whatever. But look, it's kind of like for you, say if I was related to you, like I'm doing all these things, but yet I'm not getting anything. But my brother over here, he's getting Marvel, DC, WWE, and he never went to college. So it's kind of like one of those things that antagonizes people, that I guess it's jealousy, but at the same time, I guess it's, if you have the heart and passion for it, that overcomes, if you want to pay thousands in student debts to go to college, join a stupid fraternity or whatever. But it's about proving to people you can do it. Do you agree?
I think it's really about demonstrating to yourself that anything is possible. So I look at university fraternities, you can look at them as tools, and some tools serve you and some don't. And it's really not about the circumstances that are happening and the opportunities. It's about who you are, who you say you are when when this is presented to you. So I just think it's incredible that you've found your way. And unfortunately, there's no classroom that can really teach grit. The only thing that I've found that really serves me is to surround myself with communities that have their attention on conversations that forward humanity, that don't necessarily focus on fear and limitations and what's not possible, but actually taking a look at what is possible. What's the next smallest little baby step you can take? And for an actor, there are times where you're like, this doesn't make any sense. I gave up an amazing high-powered career in technology sales. I was lined up for a next role with the VPs that were in my pocket and my listening, and I really stood in, I'm going to take a step that serves who I am as my greatest expression. And sometimes it's so true that being yourself is the most radical thing that you can do. And those nights where nothing is looking right, that you put in the time, and those nights are the ones where you just stay still in that vision. Just the ability to stand still and be with it, even if it's so uncomfortable. That's a type of skill and muscle that is truly extraordinary. Unfortunately, can't be necessarily taught. It's learned.
No, absolutely. Now, before we go to our other subject, I do want to talk to you about something real fast, something I asked professional a while ago. I called up. There's something called, and if I hesitate, I apologize, because that's when my disability kicks in. So
Sure.
The reason I do the talk show is to help me hide it. Hint of the purpose of doing the talk show, it's helping me cope with it. But there's actually this CDRs thing for anyone who lives in Monroe, Central Valley, goes in, who wants to learn a trade. You can't really say because it's fading in and out. But it's
Yeah.
the CDRs thing. He gets us in the mail. And it's just this thing. It's like, oh, you want to be a custodian or you want to take photography. And on the back of it, it says, if you have any ideas for classes, we would like to hear you. And I said to my dad yesterday, one thing I like is I like talking. I don't shut up. I have diarrhea of the mouth. And I was like, I want to be a teacher. Obviously, we just covered that, but that's not for me. So I was thinking, how can I speak in front of a group of people besides getting a speaking engagement? How can I get like a teaching thing by not just benefiting me, but benefit other people? So I contacted SUNY Arns, and that's what I think. So I contacted SUNY Arns and say, hey, I have a learning disability, but I'm a talk show host for people's disability, and how I motivate people to be the very best you can be. And I was looking at the classes, and then I think one of the classes that would be very interesting for people out there, even if you don't have a disability, but would be very interesting, is a class of motivational speaking. A class that teaches you
Great.
motivational speaking, that gives you self-courage, that will give you self-confidence, and that will make you a better person, great people skills. And everyone says, that's a wonderful idea. The answer
Yes.
I got back was, we're not interested in something like that because people don't get anything out of that. It gives you self-confidence, people skills. It helps you be a better person. Okay, but I guess you rather have someone clean toilets and
Well, you never know. It's their loss, and no means no just right now. So I think that there's plenty of different ways that you can spread that message and spread that word. And the great thing about digital online life is that you can create digital courses online and share the message with hundreds and millions of people that far exceed any local vicinity. So I think that your head is in the right place, and sometimes it's a numbers game, right? Who is it, that the author of Harry Potter, where she submitted those books to like over 100 publishers and only one person got back. So it's pretty incredible. It shows your tenacity to just keep going. And I know the no's, they hurt sometimes for sure. And it has nothing to do with you. They're really not responding to you is a tip.
No, absolutely. No, some people would tell me I have my head up my ass, but like I said, you can say, express whatever you want. I just want to make you laugh. But
Yeah.
there's other things where, like you just said, you got to get 1,000 no's. And it's funny you mention that. I watch motivational speeches every night, and there's something called Goalcast where they
Yeah,
talk
I'm
about.
familiar. Yeah, it's great. Great content.
I can't remember this woman's name, but she was a beauty pageant. And she said, I applied, I was rejected. And by like the 8th time she went back, she won. So it takes 8 turns, 8 no's, say, no, 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 you're going to get 1,000 no's in a lifetime. But it takes one yes to make you. But with that being said, I'm going to ask you my next question. With
Sure.
everything that you accomplish in your life, can social media make you or break you? So does your Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, do those numbers and influencers influence people to hire you? Or do you think it's the message behind it?
I definitely think it's who you're being. Like if you are that, for me, who I am is that everyone gets that they belong, that they're inherently good, and everyone can realize all their wildest dreams coming true. That's who I am. That's who I stand for. And if it comes out on social media, it comes out in person, it comes out in my performance reads, so be it. I think the greater amount of cultivation of energy and attention on what really matters to you and value in your life, that's going to come out. Now, there is a conversation around, you know, having influence and impact at scale in the world. And one of the great tools is through social media. Do I believe it'll make or break you? Absolutely not. I think if you are really committed to being of service in the world in a specific way, I really believe that energy is going to come towards you in all sorts of magical, wondrous ways. And that also means that social media can be a great tool for that. So I think if someone, for myself, I dabble in the social media, and when you're really passionate, it comes through no matter what medium.
No, I agree. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, I'm going to ask you about your acting career, and then I'm going to pass the show over to you.
Hey, I'm Laura Menino.
Hi, I'm Deborah Jensen.
I'm Linda Collins.
Hi, I'm Marissa Joy Davis.
This is Michelle Wong.
I'm Nancy Rose.
My name is Brandy Hunt. And
hello, my name is Raven Wynn.
Hi there, my name is Giovanna Vidal.
Hi, I'm Monica Thomas.
Hi, I'm Paisley Blackburn.
I'm Ashley Burgess.
Hi, my name is Jeanette Abney.
Hi, I'm Sharon Spank.
Hey, this is Samantha Moore.
Hi, I'm Melody Jones.
Hi, my name is Becky Yee.
Hi, you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 655. I'm here with the talented and beautiful Adriana. Now, before we talk to commercial break, I wanted to talk to you about your acting and your beautiful singing. But the one thing that caught my interest is you are nominated for a short film, and that's what I want to talk to you about. You mentioned you were nominated for a short film as a supporting actress, and I would love to hear about that.
Sure. Yes. I was nominated for Best Supporting Actress in a Short Film by the Nice, France International Film Festival, which was a great film festival supporting actors in the industry. And it was really an honor to be recognized for that work. And, you know, we had touched upon this earlier about your gift of service, that passion that lives out in the world. And, you know, a few months before I was cast for this role, I was at this sober dance rave, and I was looking around and I was like, wow, I would love for women to understand that their darkness is precious. Like the vulnerable, dark, shameful little corners of themselves. Like, where is the darkness here at this party? It's okay. It's allowed. It's beautiful. I just really wanted this esoteric message that I wanted to give to women. And it just so happened I got the little message in my casting profile. We'd love for you to audition for this role. You know, it was a student film, a hybrid film, and I treated it like Spielberg. I was like, this is the role that's going to deliver that message that I've been meaning to speak. And I've just, you know, I practiced my audition for an entire day, and I just knew it. It was mine. I knew her. She was me. And it was just such a miracle. We didn't even know they had enough money to finish the project. Lo and behold, they did a Kickstarter and they raised the money. I didn't hear from them for 2 years, so I had completely forgot. And lo and behold, I get a message like, hey, we're going to France. You've been nominated too. Are you coming with us? And that was pretty amazing. At the time, I was getting ready to start my high-powered tech career. And I said, okay, parents, family, friends, pause. I'm going to go and be acknowledged. And it was just a really special experience to be a part of that. So yes, it was a great experience.
Well, let me ask you one thing. You mentioned you were about to start your high-powered career.
Yeah.
Do you have any regrets, or could you do both if you wanted to?
Oh, I absolutely have no regrets. That was one of the best learning experiences I could have. In fact, I got a lot of vision and view of what that world even entails. So my job was to communicate with C-level executives, which means, you know, VPs of marketing, VPs of product, specifically in the mobile field, and what it would take to get behind the red velvet rope behind these really special people that have very limited time, and what it takes to create a relationship, nurture a relationship. What is it like to plan exquisite dinner parties and have really interesting carefully curated people come. So it was one of the best experiences of my life. You know, I did realize being on the phones calling people as I was on the front lines of sales that, boy, I really loved calling people. I love my voice. And, you know, I really had to choose a life that's based around my voice. So I have absolutely no regrets. It was super fun to have all the startup perks of San Francisco. So ping pong tables and eating lunch with everybody and shared communal tables and fabulous retreats to Tahoe to ski. It was really fun. And I got really a sense of the culture and what are the motivations and needs for all these different teams, which is so great because now I have a technology demo or audio samples that I can share with all of my dear friends and networks in that community. And I can really serve technology with my voice in the specific needs that they need. So it's really, I really do believe that our lives are exquisitely designed exactly as we need them. So it was perfect, really.
No, absolutely. And what about, next thing I want to ask you, it's about, well, what were some of your favorite voiceovers? Like, do you do any for fun, or do you just like do some for practice?
Yeah. So I'm focusing on commercial reads, on TV and promo. There's a lot of great video games, especially in the San Francisco Bay Area, that are coming out. I just came from a video game conference and I learned about motion capture, which is a niche. The great thing about voiceover is that it's so diverse. Like you really get to be open to all these different niches and fields. You know, it can be, you know, even something as like medical narration, which you would have never thought that would be really interesting. Boy, like you really learn something new and you get to just have your eyes open to a whole little slice of life, like a different world that's possible. So it can run the gambit on what different projects I work on.
No, absolutely. Now, my last question I want to ask you, then I'll pass the show over to you. As you mentioned, you were a soprano singer. Who influenced you to become a singer, and do you still sing?
You know, it's so funny. I had done volleyball for most of my middle school life, and I was preparing to get on the high school volleyball team. I did this pre-summer camp intensive, and and I didn't make the team, but I saw this whole crowd of women that were in these long, gorgeous black satin dresses. And I thought, ooh, that looks fun. And so I joined the choir because of the pretty black dresses. And, you know, as we were practicing, they said, well, the spring musical is coming up. And the best way to prepare for it is to get a private vocal coach. So I went and got a private vocal coach. And you know, when I first started, let's just say my parents didn't even bring their video camera back when there was video cameras. They didn't even bring their video camera to my second recital. That's how, like, that's thus the level that I was at, that they didn't even think to record it. And lo and behold, you know, once you put your attention and you study a little bit, I mean, I really excelled and I became the leads in all the musicals. I was voted most likely to be famous by my high school. I had a senior recital. You know, I was at one point, I was in practice for like at least 5 hours a day of singing. So I really just blossomed and became a singer. Who knew? I didn't know. My parents didn't even know that it was in there. And now, you know, it just makes so much sense that the voice is such a channel to communicate. And I'll just say, with everything that's going on in the world around the COVID pandemic and just the fear, I really do believe that there's a shift in the energy of the planet towards the feminine, or empathy, love, acceptance, radical listening. And I believe the voice is the best channel or tool to deliver that message more clearly in the world. So I really see my singing as a spiritual journey, and I'm so excited to launch my singing platform. It'll be a community that gets to hear more about what I feel and hear about the feminine, and writing songs and music that truly empower people.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Now, I'm going to pass the show over to you. It's the last 5 minutes.
Okay.
Anything you wanted to know, anything you want to promote, any upcoming project you want to talk about?
Sure. Well, I would love anyone that's interested in working with me as a voice artist. So if you're in technology and would love a inspiring, positive, optimistic voice for your brand, your mission, your upcoming pitch deck to, mom and pop, I'm happy to work with you to make something work to get your business brand onto the next level. I'm also so excited to share with my dearest friends and families and fans my new singing platform on Ko-fi, Adriana the Artist. And you can find me there speaking about what's next for humanity inside of the feminine. So that's really it for me. I love that you just, found me from the interwebs and we're able to connect in this really beautiful, strange, and curious moment in history.
No, absolutely. And out of curiosity, how do you, because I would love to work with you, we can definitely talk about that off the air, but how do you feel about being like a brand ambassador?
A brand ambassador for Keith Networks?
Yeah,
Keith Andrew Networks. Well, I'm happy to use this content to share. Happy to post it around. I'm actually quite, my bandwidth, who knew? Everyone's at home saying they're bored being stuck at home, but boy, am I busier than ever. So I'd love to support what this content's up to in the best way I can with whatever time I have.
No, absolutely. Hey, you help me and I help you. If there's anything you wanted me to promote for you, now that I have a background, I can definitely do that for you.
Got it.
I do
Great.
have a couple questions for you off the air.
Sure.
Wrapping up, the first one is, how can people follow you on social media?
Sure. You can find me under Adriana __ VO. That's a great way to follow me. And you can check out my website, adriana-vo.com. And I'm going to be launching my Ko-fi platform soon. So you can also check me out on LinkedIn, Adriana Voiceover. Find me there.
And then my last question for you is, I want you to be brutally honest. When I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first honest?
My first reaction? Yeah. I don't have time.
But
yes.
But after you saw that, what made you say yes? How do you feel now? And what do you recommend it to other people?
I think once I became present to your mission and really inspiring people that feel limited in some way, I thought, you know what, this isn't about me and what I can do. This is bigger than me. So once I got present to the mission, that had me be like, you know what, I'm doing this not just for me, I'm doing this for the people at large. And yeah, I think once I actually took the time to look at what your interviews and who you'd actually interviewed and the style, I thought, this guy's really trying to do something and I want to be a part of that.
No, I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road. Now, stay tuned. I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. And I'm looking forward to part 2.
Awesome. Yay.